Hello and welcome to my wardrobe. It's a little bit messy, don't look too closely. My name is Laura.
And I'm Bez.
And we're English teachers and we mostly teach British English.
And we're going to be giving you a tour of our wardrobes so you at home can learn how British people talk about clothes.
So let's begin. Let's start with the tops, with the top part of the body. So as you can see already, I'm in a fitted t-shirt. Fitted t-shirt. Now, crucially, a t-shirt doesn't have any buttons. And do you know, it's called a t-shirt because you make the shape of a T with your arms. It kind of makes the shape of a T. This, however, is much more of a baggy t-shirt. See how big that is? It's very baggy. So when clothes are loose, you can say loose fitting or baggy. But here we have a vest. A vest with these thin straps, a vest. Sometimes people wear vests underneath their clothes to be a bit warmer, but this is meant to be seen. This is a little bit different. It looks just like a piece of fabric or something to wash your dishes with, but it's not. It's a top, but significantly it is strapless. No straps. So this here, these we call straps. So if your top has none of them, it is strapless. So I'd call this a strapless top, or, a bit naughty, sometimes people call it a boob tube. So you might hear it referred to as a boob tube, but I call it a strapless top. And it's also stretchy, which is great. I love stretchy clothes. Very convenient, stretchy. And one final top, we have a long sleeved top. So my sleeves are short sleeved, long sleeved. Moving on to outerwear. So anything you wear on the top of your top, we might call it outerwear. I have a lot of cardigans. I love cardigans. Now a cardigan is something that goes over the top, maybe with buttons, and it's thick, made of wool usually. Sometimes British people call them cardies. They shorten it. Do you want to wear a cardie? Maybe you should wear a cardie. It's quite cold out. Another cardigan. Woolly is an adjective you might hear as well. Woolly, meaning made of wool or something very similar to wool. So I'd call that a woolly cardigan. Woolly cardie. Now let's look at jumpers. So using that same word, woolly, a woolly jumper. This is where it's different to Americans. Americans would call this a sweater, but we will call this a jumper. So something with long sleeves over the top, jumper. Okay, more outerwear. Now, the fundamental part of this is there are no sleeves. So it's sleeveless, and we call this a gilet, a gilet. Lovely word, gilet. So I might wear a gilet on a 10-degree day maybe. Lovely. What we do tend to do with clothes is put a season in front of the clothing. So for example, this I would call my winter coat. My winter coat because I wear it in the winter. It's thick, it's warm. Okay, let's do my favourite category, summer dresses. Do you remember how I said that sometimes we put seasons in front of stuff? Summer dresses are my favourite things to buy. I think it's probably what I have the most of. So a summer dress is exactly what it sounds like. It's a dress that you would wear in the summer, usually with flowers or a pattern on it. The length of this is important. So this would be midi because it goes to kind of mid bottom of the leg. So this is midi, a midi dress. Let me show you a mini dress. This would be a mini dress because it's quite short. The length is pretty short. So we've got mini, midi, and we also have
Maxi.
Well done, maxi. Maxi, which means all the way to the floor. Skirts, also my favourite thing to buy. Lovely skirt here. Starts here, a bit like a dress. So if we use the same kind of measurements, this is a midi skirt because it goes to that same length, a midi skirt. This is an interesting item. I wonder if you know how we would call this. Have a look at this. So it's kind of trousers, but it goes all the way over. So this can be referred to in a couple of different ways. You can call it a jumpsuit, which is something for your whole body. Some people call them dungarees. Some older people might call them overalls. I've heard that one as well. I would probably call these dungarees. Okay, onto the bottom half. So currently I am in what I would call a set of baggy jeans. Baggy or wide leg. You might hear them called wide leg jeans because they go wide on your leg. I don't own any, but skinny jeans used to be really popular, very skinny to your legs. But now we've replaced them with wide leg baggy jeans. I've got some straight leg jeans as well. Straight leg, they just go straight down. Straight leg jeans. Finally, don't look down there at my shoe collection. It's very messy down there. But we're gonna look at some shoes, okay? It's messy down there, okay? It's where I throw things. So, sandals. I call them Birkenstocks because that's the brand. Most people would call these Birkenstocks, but sandals is the general term. Chelsea boots. They're so old, but I love them. Chelsea boots refers to this particular style. So if you see people wearing this style with the kind of elastic bit here, Chelsea boots. Sliders, these plastic shoes that you just slide your feet in. Sliders, great for the pool. If you go into the pool, lovely. Ballet flats, because they are flat shoes and they kind of look like what a ballerina wears. Ballet flats. Heels or high heels. Most people just say heels. So I'm wearing heels tonight. My feet are going to be so sore. Trainers. In the UK, we call them trainers. Americans call them sneakers, but we would call them trainers. And these are quite chunky. You might hear people refer to them as chunky trainers, meaning big, like the bottom is chunky. It's not thin. It's big.
So first up, I'm going to choose something that I think all men have in their wardrobe, is a long-sleeved white shirt. It's got buttons all the way down here, which makes it a shirt, and it has cuffs. The cuffs are the things that go around your wrists. This shirt has buttons on the cuffs, so you can just close it like this, but sometimes the fancier ones don't have the buttons, so you need to get what we call cuff links to close that cuff. I have many shirts. One of the shirts I have is a short sleeved shirt, which is like this. Exactly the same as that one, but it's short sleeved. This is a hoodie. It's thicker than t-shirts and it's got long sleeves and it has a hood, which is why it's called a hoodie. Now, take a guess, what is inside my suit carrier? That's right, a suit. Now, obviously this is missing the shirt, which we've seen before, but here we have the suit jacket and the suit trousers. Americans will call these pants, but we in the UK call these trousers. Pants in the UK is actually your underwear. This can also be referred to as a blazer. And you might hear about people getting their suits tailored. This is when people go to a tailor's and the tailor will measure your body and will adjust the suit so it fits you better. And with most suits, you will probably need a tie. Shall we have a look at some jackets? Can't hear you because this is a video, but we're going to have a look at some jackets. The definition of a jacket is something that you put over the top of your other clothes, but it's not quite as thick and warm as a coat. And this is a fleece jacket. Fleece refers to the material it's made out of. This is also a jacket. It's slightly more formal than my other jacket, but it's not waterproof. For waterproof, you need a raincoat. This coat is waterproof, so it keeps you dry when it rains. And finally, we have a denim jacket. Denim refers to the material that is the same material as my jeans. I'm wearing denim jeans right now. trousers. But you can wear, of course, shorts. Shorts are shorter than trousers, which is why they are called shorts. Yes. I personally only really wear denim jeans when I go out the house. When I'm indoors, I tend to wear something comfier. My favourite piece of clothing, joggers. Joggers. Some British people might also call these tracksuit bottoms or trackies. So I really like to wear these trackies. I do have a little bit of paint on these because I wore these to paint the house when we moved here. So my joggers are a little bit dirty. Now, you might be wondering what's inside Bez's basket. So I have this. This is very useful. This is a snood. A snood. It is something that people wear around their necks or over their ears, like this, to keep them warm. I like to wear this when I go to the football. A scarf is a little bit long, like this. The scarf can sometimes get stuck in your coat and blow in the wind, so I like to wear a snood. Now this is a hat, of course, it goes on your head, but this is called a beanie hat. A beanie hat, or a woolly hat. If you put this bobble on the top of your beanie hat, then it becomes a bobble hat. Bobble, 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 bobble. Next, we have a cap, or a baseball cap, because people wear these in baseball. And they look pretty cool. Another type of hat that you could have is a bucket hat. A bucket hat has a brim that goes all the way around, and that's it really.